I'm gonna speak about the shift or the shifting moments that happen throughout the day. And these are the moments when a negative or unpleasant feeling arises within us. And in that moment, we instinctively, in a microsecond, we decide to move away from this unwanted feeling. Our nervous system is wired to avoid this at all costs. And so we shift away from this feeling, suppressing it, ignoring it, not acknowledging it, but immediately to focus on something else. This avoidance shows up in many different ways and forms, including multiple coping mechanisms, such as addictions, distractions, denial, judgment, or people-pleasing, or procrastination, overthinking, any compensation that is intended for us to gain love and approval. And here is the rejection paradox. We try so desperately, so hard to avoid being abandoned by others. We abandon ourselves first so that others don't have the opportunity to abandon us. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to feel shame or grief or guilt or despair, sadness. So I will act in a way that I think will guarantee me a situation where I will not have to feel these uncomfortable feelings of shame, guilt, embarrassment, despair, sadness, grief. Often this looks like a complete withdrawal from the situation that needs to be dealt with, resolved, or it looks like running away from our desires, or even coming up with like a artificial mental justification why we actually don't want the desire or need to be met, which is not true. And this creates inner split, inner division between the parts that we choose to accept and deem accepted in society, and we think that these parts will bring us the love, the recognition, everything that we want to. And on the other side are the parts that we think are the bad ones, that we should stay away from them as much as possible, that these parts will only give us pain and suffering and trouble and rejection in the society, so better not to engage with these parts at all and suppress them and ignore them and play a character and have a performance, anything but these parts. When we have this division between good parts and bad parts, seemingly, then we become performers. We perform different characters. We wear different masks that we think will bring us the highest benefit. What often happens is that we can shift into these personas or these characters instantly if the so-called situation requires, and we find ourselves in the environment or circumstances that our nervous system or determines, okay, I need to play this character to not get rejected and get the best out of the situation. And so we instantly shift. It happens so lightning, quickly, fast. When we shift into these characters, we often try to look smarter, we try to look cool, we try to look more magnetic or attractive. We try to impress, suddenly we try to impress certain people around us. We want to be liked by them, or we want to have like a certain reaction from them or attention. How many times have we experienced a situation where we feel uncomfortable in a certain environment around certain people, and so we feel that we cannot be ourselves like fully, like authentically, and we cannot say all the things that we think and we actually mean. And so what often happens is we say one thing, but we actually think another thing, you know? And this happens because there is a fear that there will be a negative consequences if we actually say what we actually mean. We will be rejected, we will be punished, we will be pushed away, maybe even lose certain benefits. So instead we choose to play this fake character to be liked. In these scenarios we choose to avoid as much as possible any conflicts and any tension between us and other people around. And the tragedy of this is that what this does is the opposite of gaining self-respect. Shifting into this character happens, like, as I said, like instantaneously, like super fast, like that. Like it's connected to our nervous system, so it's this survival strategy. This only happens because there is a part of us that believes and thinks that we're not good enough the way we are, the way Creator created us, and there's something wrong with us, and we need to be different. And so we then try to impress others, we try to game others, and we try to be someone else who we are actually not. We are seeking external approval and validation, especially in these micro moments when we feel very uncomfortable around certain people and they trigger certain insecurities within us. And then we want to move away from this feeling of insecurity and step in a character of, I'm in control, I'm fine, I'm solid, I'm good. And these shifts, they are not personal flaws. They're just our nervous system adaptations. And what is needed is awareness and compassion. The judgment will only deepen the disconnection. Cultivate self-awareness, not just on a mental level, but also on an emotional level, physical, body sensation level as well. Because we experience emotions in body as certain feelings. And let's talk a little bit more about 3 levels of awareness. Level 1 awareness is retrospective awareness, that, or general awareness, that we have a general awareness, we're aware that this pattern of like shifting into certain character away from authenticity, it actually exists. And when we look back, let's say in the past, in certain situations, scenarios when we were around certain people, like we notice, oh yeah, like I wasn't myself back then around those people. Like, oh yeah, like I tried to be liked, or I acted in a weird way, or in a way that I would normally prefer not to. And then all of these things signal that, yeah, we were shifting into a performance, that we try to avoid certain feeling of either insecurity or embarrassment or shame or guilt. And so instead we shifted into this performance. Level 2 is we notice this shift minutes after it happened. It's like, oh, okay. or maybe even seconds after. But we didn't catch it in the beginning. So this shift still happened, but we became like immediately aware after it. This is improvement of the awareness. And level 3 is present moment awareness, when we can feel in the moment that this uncomfortable feeling is arising right now in my body, okay? And we're not overtaken or overwhelmed by this sensation. We're able to stay with it, and we're not triggered to in a reactive mode or behavioral pattern that to immediately move away from it. We're able to stay with it and observe it and allow it to be felt and move through us. When we reach this level, then we have regained our free will, yeah, because we are then not impacted unconsciously by these certain emotions that we try to avoid, and we can consciously then choose and decide. We have emotional clarity. When we are able to stay with these, let's say, uncomfortable emotions, then energy can start to move that previously was stuck in our body. And when the energy moves, it can expand and it can transform from lower vibration to higher vibration. For example, we allow ourselves to feel shame, and once we unconditionally allow this shame to be felt, to come in, without any need to be fixed or trying to get it done as fast as possible, then what happens is we start to experience peace, because part of us is finally accepted, integrated, and then we have this peace. And when we have peace, we also have a self-approval, and we don't need external validation anymore. And once we have self-approval, we build confidence, and we have confidence in our own decision making. When we accept all of our emotions, feelings unconditionally, that strengthens our boundaries, that reduces triggers, that reduces people-pleasing tendencies. It allows us to be authentic, and it builds self-respect and confidence, because we're able to tell the truth even if it's uncomfortable. And we replace approval seeking, external approval seeking, with emotional honesty. And this allows us to become more whole and complete. When we are not resisting parts of ourselves anymore, we become more whole. We stop living in internal conflict between different parts, and peace doesn't come from control or resistance. It comes from acceptance. It's so interesting that once we allow certain emotions and feelings to be felt and we don't run away, how that can at times change drastically the way how we feel about needing to meet certain desires. As I used to have this desire, very strong desire that haven't been met long time, and I felt shame and guilt about having this desire, because I thought that, well, if I went ahead and met this desire, then it meant that I would betray a person very close to me. And so I had this inner dynamic push-pull. It's like these two conflicting sides. One side really wanted to meet this need, and the other side was no, avoid at all costs, and no, this is dangerous. Don't do it. Because the side that tried to avoid from this desire was the side that had shame and guilt around this desire. And once I surrendered to these feelings, because this desire didn't go away, I tried hard, but it didn't go away. You know, what we resist persists and grows stronger and bigger. And so at one point, like, I just surrendered and said, okay, I just give up, like I cannot do this anymore. Then I noticed, and then what happened next was very surprising for me. The intensity of underlying desire softened, and I felt less need to have this desire be met. And it wasn't as urgent anymore, and this part me that felt shame and guilt around this desire was acknowledged, was accepted, and then there was more peace for this part and for me. And then, yeah, I didn't feel anymore like desperate that, oh my God, I need to meet this need now. Once I was able to let go of resistance around this certain desire that I had, resistance in the form of shame and guilt, then I was suddenly able to make a decision from the place of peace. And I was in peace with my decision. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next video.